Once upon a time there lived a boy named Soolay in a small house at the edge of a bustling city. Soolay lived with his mother, who worked tirelessly weaving beautiful cloth to sell at the market. They were very poor, and while his mother toiled from dawn to dusk, Soolay spent his days sleeping under the shade of trees or playing games with the other children. No matter how hard his mother tried, she could never persuade him to help. Everyone in the city began to call him Lazy Soolay. One day, after returning home exhausted from her weaving, Soolay's mother could take no more.
Soolay, you must begin to work for your food, or I will have to send you away from this house. I cannot keep feeding you while you laze around all day,
she called sternly. Soolay scratched his head, surprised by his mother's harsh words. "But Mama, what should I do?" he asked.
You are old enough to earn your keep. Go out and find work,
his mother replied, her tone softer now. The next morning, for the first time in his life, Soolay woke up early and went out to look for a job. He found a kind farmer who agreed to hire him for the day. By evening, Soolay had worked harder than he had ever done before, and the farmer handed him a shiny penny as payment. Soolay had never seen money of his own before, and he held the coin tightly in his hand as he walked home. But when he crossed a bridge over a rushing river, the penny slipped out of his hand and was lost in the water. When he got home, Soolay's mother asked,
"Where is your pay for the day?"
Soolay explained what had happened, holding back tears. His mother sighed in frustration.
"Soolay, you foolish boy, you should have put it in your pocket."
"I will next time, Mama," Soolay said sheepishly. The next day, Soolay found work at a dairy farm, where he spent the day helping to milk cows. At the end of the day, the farmer paid him with a pot of fresh, creamy milk. Remembering his mother's advice, Soolay poured the milk into his pocket and started walking home. By the time he arrived, his clothes were soaked and all the milk was gone. When his mother saw him, she threw her hands in the air.
"Soolay, what were you thinking? You should have carried the pot of milk on your head."
"I will next time, Mama," Soolay promised. On the third day, Soolay worked for a farmer who paid him with a bowl of golden wheat. Determined to do better this time, Soolay balanced the bowl carefully on his head, just as his mother had suggested. But as he walked home, birds swooped down from the sky and ate all the wheat. By the time he got home, the bowl was empty.
"Soolay, why didn't you carry it carefully in your hands?"
his mother scolded. "I will next time, Mama," Soolay replied. Then, the following day, Soolay worked for a baker who gave him a playful little puppy as his pay. Soolay cradled the dog gently in his arms as he walked home. But the dog, not liking to be carried, squirmed and bit his hands. Soolay had no choice but to let it go, and the dog ran off into the bushes. When Soolay arrived home empty-handed, his mother shook her head in despair.
"Soolay, when will you learn? You should have tied a rope around the dog's neck and led it home."
"I will next time, Mama," Soolay said quietly. On the fifth day, Soolay worked for a butcher who gave him a big, juicy piece of steak as his reward. Remembering what his mother had said, Soolay tied a rope around the meat and dragged it along the ground behind him. By the time he got home, the steak was covered in dirt and thorns and was completely inedible.
"Soolay, you should have carried it on your shoulder,"
his mother cried, more upset than ever. "I will next time, Mama," Soolay mumbled. The next day, Soolay worked at a cattle farm where the farmer gave him a live donkey as payment. This time, Soolay decided to follow his mother's advice exactly. He hoisted the donkey onto his shoulders and began the long walk home. Now, in the wealthiest part of the city, there lived a rich man with a beautiful daughter. Although the girl was lovely to look at, she had never spoken a word or even laughed in her life. Doctors had told her father that she might one day speak if someone could make her laugh. The rich man had promised a great reward to anyone who could bring joy to his daughter, but no one had succeeded. As fate would have it, the girl was sitting by her window when Soolay trudged by with the donkey on his shoulders. The donkey's legs stuck out awkwardly, and its ears flopped back and forth as Soolay struggled to keep his balance. The sight was so ridiculous that the girl burst into laughter. To everyone's amazement, she began to speak. Her father was overjoyed. "Who is responsible for this miracle?" he cried. When he learned that it was Soolay, he summoned him to his grand mansion. "You have brought joy to my daughter and to me," the rich man said. "For that, I will give you a reward." He presented Soolay with a large house, servants, and enough money to last a lifetime. When Soolay returned to his mother with the good news, she couldn't believe her ears. Maybe hard work isn't the only thing that makes someone rich. Sometimes a little luck can go a long way, she said with a smile. And from that day on, Soolay and his mother lived happily ever after. Even though Soolay remained as lazy as ever, his luck had finally changed for the better.